Alright guys, Fulham and Liverpool have just played out a 2-2 draw. Yeah, very disappointing as a Liverpool fan. Liverpool were not the better side today, definitely. For the second, can't even speak. Fulham, the first half, were definitely the better side. They deserved to go into the break with a 1 goal lead. The goal, it was there was questions over a foul on Jordan Henderson. For me, it was very early on in the play. It probably was a foul, and the referee probably should have given it, but it's too late for VAR to pull back. So for me, you can only really blame the referee for that. You can't really blame VAR. But it was a well worked move by Fulham. Did really well to get down the left hand side, whip across in, and Mitrovic has done really well to get the header on, but it's just poor from Trent Alexander-Arnold in terms of just ball watching and not keeping an eye on where Mitrovic is, and also not attacking the ball at all. If you're not certain where a player is behind you, you've got to go up and attack the ball, and he doesn't do that. He makes it far too easy for Mitrovic to rise above him and not get the cleanest header on it ever, but just direct it goalwards. And if you do that, you're causing the keeper problems. And that made it 1-0. Liverpool did think they'd taken the lead through Luis Diaz, but it was rightly ruled out for an offside just before on Andy Robertson. Diaz also hit the post in the first half. Diaz, to be fair, was Liverpool's best player in the first half by an absolute mile. Maybe him and Andy Robertson, actually. Robertson had a good game, but Diaz was the one causing any problems for Liverpool. There was nothing coming from the right-hand side from Salah and Alexander-Arnold in the first half. And yeah, Fulham just, they started the better side and yeah, went into half-time deservedly with the lead. Second half, Liverpool made a couple of changes early on, bringing on Harvey Elliott and Darwin Nunez. Harvey Elliott, when he came on, I thought played a little bit like he'd had both boots on the wrong feet. He's really struggled to, get going, and whenever he got the ball, he didn't look comfortable and lost it on quite a few occasions. Nunez, on the other hand, as soon as he came on, made a positive impact on the team and just started causing Fulham all sorts of problems. He nearly scored a really good flick goal within about 5 minutes of coming on, but got blocked by the keeper. And then did the exact same thing about 5 minutes later, and this time it came off. It's not the most cleanest goal or cleanest, flick you've ever seen. It comes off Tosin Adarabioyo, and then back onto Nunez, and then goes into the roof of the net. But sometimes you need a goal like that. Liverpool certainly did today. And then Liverpool started to get on top, and it looked like Liverpool were eventually going to find that second goal, which they did. But unfortunately, Alexander Mitrovic went on a dribble and got it past Virgil van Dijk. Van Dijk made the foul. It wasn't the greatest defending effort by Van Dijk, but Mitrovic did really well to get past him, to be fair, because if you think of all the players who are likely to take on Van Dijk and be successful in beating him, Mitrovic probably isn't up there in that category. He took the penalty, and it was a very good penalty. Hit it hard and low into the bottom right corner, and that gave Fulham the lead back. And Liverpool managed to get an equaliser again. Bit of a scruffy goal, ball forwards. Nunez controls it for Salah, who gets it into the just slots it past Rodak in the Fulham goal. But yeah, and that was pretty much it. To be honest, other than Jordan Henderson hitting the crossbar right at the end of the game with what would have been a hell of a winning goal. The things I'm a bit disappointed with Liverpool with today was the fact that they didn't get going at all in the first half, and also the fact that Kenny Tete at right back for Fulham got a yellow card early on, and Liverpool just didn't manage to get down that left-hand side at all in the second half or the first half after he got the booking, and force him into a dodgy challenge which would get him a second yellow. And Fulham, to be fair, I kept going on about how Liverpool weren't good enough. Fulham today definitely looked like a side that shouldn't be troubled by relegation. Whether that will be the case, we're still yet to see. But Fulham were brilliant. Mitrovic, man of the match, had a superb game, held the ball up really well, and caused Virgil van Dijk and Joel Matip problems all throughout the match. And even centre-backs Tim Ream and Tosin both had good games. Anthony Robertson at left-back did really well to keep Mohamed Salah quiet for the majority of the game. Pereira and Paulinho in midfield both played really well, controlled the midfield for quite large parts of the game, which is hard to do against Liverpool. So yeah, there were some brilliant performances all around the Fulham team, to be honest. And yeah, Liverpool, back to Liverpool, just disappointing. Thiago Alcantara went off shortly after half-time with a muscle injury. Again, he's a quality footballer, but muscle injuries are just plaguing his Liverpool career, to be honest. He's missed far too many games. I think he's on about 70-ish appearances after 2 seasons, which he is a player who, if he was fit, would be starting pretty much every game. And over the past 2 seasons, Liverpool have played about 110 games, so he's missed a lot of games through injury. So yeah, it just wasn't overall good enough from Liverpool today. For me, it's the one thing Fulham did really well was anytime the ball came into Firmino in that first half, they gave him no space whatsoever, because anyone who watches football knows how important Firmino is to Liverpool in pulling players out of position and leaving space for players like Salah and Diaz to run into. And the way that Fulham dealt with that was absolutely superb, to be honest. So fair play to Fulham, and fair play to Marco Silva. He deserves a lot of credit for the way he set Fulham up today. All the tactical planning was spot on, I thought. Yeah, there's not really much more I can say, to be honest. Just disappointing from Liverpool. Although, having said that, in my predictions, I actually put down a 1-1 draw, but I'd be lying if I said I actually thought that was going to be the case. I do that because I never like to jinx it by predicting a Liverpool win on the opening day of the season. But yeah, not great going. But yeah, for Fulham, it's an absolutely brilliant start to the season, and yeah, they'll be hoping they can continue it into the next 37 games. For Liverpool, they need to improve on that if we are going to challenge Man City in a title race this season. Simple as that, really. But there were a few positives for Liverpool, and Darwin Núñez's performance when he came on. That's probably about where it ends, actually, to be honest. So yeah. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.